戦
The M249 SAW, officially known as the Machine Gun 5.56mm M249, is a 3-star MG that's only available from S-Ranks, Auto Battles, and drops from Destroyer on stages 5-6 and 5-4E. As of 1965, the U.S. Army and Marine Corps primarily used the M2 Browning and the M60 as their machine guns, with the M2 serving as a mounted or emplaced machine gun, while the M60 served as a general-purpose machine gun for troops. Compared to the M1918 bar, the M60 was quite heavy and required at least 2 infantrymen to operate it. Some squads were even ordered to use the M14 and later M16 rifles on the automatic fire mode, while other members of the squad could only use semi-automatic. Because of this, the US Army began devising plans for a machine gun that could be operated by 1 infantryman. It would be lighter than the M60, but more powerful than the M16. Throughout the 1960s, ideas such as a flechette or dart-firing machine gun were taken into consideration before being abandoned, with the Stoner 63 light machine gun, or LMG, getting serious consideration due to its modularity, briefly seeing use in Vietnam in the hands of US Marines and Navy SEALs. Further studies of the use of the new 5.56x45mm NATO cartridge were done, with the US Army adopting the development of an LMG under the nomenclature of a Squad Automatic Weapon, or SAW. During development and testing of the SAW candidates in 1974, 3 5.56mm LMGs and some that fired the 6mm cartridge were tested. The candidates for the testing were the M16 H-bar, an M16 with a heavy barrel, different foregrip, bipod, and maybe a few other differences, the FN Mini-Me, the HK-23A1, and the XM233-2235 from Marmont, Philco Ford, and the Rock Island Arsenal. The first round of tests finished in December of 1974, with the FN Mini-Me and Rock Island Arsenal XM235 being selected for further testing. As the development and testing carried on, opinions changed on the 6mm cartridge, instead preferring the 5.56mm, with the candidates being the same as before, but instead chambered in 5.56 as of 1979. By 1980, the FN XM249 Mini-Me was selected for further development due to its performance and cost, being officially adopted as the M249 in February of 1982 and entering service in 1984. Opinions were mixed depending on who you asked, with the M249 being found to be accurate, reliable, durable, and having a decent bit of firepower. But it initially had an exposed barrel that tended to get hot from, firing continuously, and became a burn hazard, sharp edges, and was ineffective when fired from the hip or shoulder instead of the ground, and had a fragile bipod, and quickly accumulated dirt. It first saw action in the invasion of Panama, later seeing action in the Gulf Wars, war in Afghanistan, the dissolution of Yugoslavia, and the Iraq War. As always, there were multiple variants of the M249 SAW, such as the M249 Para, a paratrooper adaptation of the M249 that features a sliding aluminum stock, shorter barrel, and lighter weight, the M249 SPW, or Special Purpose Weapon, a lighter and shorter version of the M249 designed for US SOCOM Spec Ops, removing the barrel change handle, magazine well, and vehicle mounting lug to save weight, and has the addition of Picatinny rails and a detachable bipod. The Mark 46, which is a further developed M249 SPW, with really only the butt stock, which remained the standard plastic stock instead of the sliding aluminum one. The Mark 48, which is exactly like the Mark 46, except it's chambered in 7.62 by 51mm NATO, and the M249S, a semi-auto version for civilian shooting and collecting. The M249 SAW is a gas-operated, long-stroke piston, opened rotating bolt machine gun, which typically fires the 5.56x45mm NATO cartridge from a M27 linked disintegrating belt from a 1 to 200 round soft pouch or Stanag magazine. Yes, this can take assault rifle magazines, at a fire rate of 850 rounds per minute, out to a range of 700 to 3600 meters. In her character art drawn by Yuki Sakura, SAW wears a white crop top sleeveless shirt with a blue and yellow pattern around her neck, white hood with the same pattern around the crown of her head, yellow and green feathers on the right shoulder, jean short shorts, a bullet belt around her waist, a leather armband and elbow guard on her right arm, white fingerless gloves, a leather pouch on her upper left thigh, knee pad with a heart on it, on her right knee, fur-trimmed boots, a tail coming out from behind her, and 2 drawstrings with puffballs on the ends. She holds her SAW with both hands, fingers seemingly off the trigger, right hand on the pistol grip, and left hand on the foregrip. The SAW she holds appears to be an M249 para variant, with the stock collapsed, a foregrip Elcan C79 sight on a riser, and bipod. In her voice lines, voiced by Nanjo Yoshino, who also voices Maya Awasuki in Scientific Railgun, SR-88A in Upat, Ellie Ayase in Love Live, Reka Tatsunagi in Cardfight Vanguard, Akio Kudo in Bakuto Test, Sonya in Berserk, Nagatoro's sister in Nagatoro, Lazia in Soul Calibur 5, Eli Ayase and Tico in Grand Blue Fantasy, Isabella in Trials of Mana, Kiria Kurano in Fire Emblem Heroes, and Topaz in Star Rail, SAW is extremely listless and lazy.
指揮官、あんまり期待しないでね。この程度の行動、半分のやる気で十分だろう。メリークリスマス指揮官。忙しい時期だけど、そんな中で私は頑張って、眠らせていただきます。いいね。もふもふの私がいっぱい。やばい。もっとやる気なくなった。おはよう、指揮官。なんかあった？なんでもないなら二度寝したいんだけど。へえ、意外に簡単だな。次はもっとサボろう。指揮官、私の聞き間違いじゃないよね。いつから好きになってくれたの？じゃあ指揮官のために少し本気になってあげるんだから、感謝してよね。なんか言った？さっき聞いてなかったんだよね。早く行って早く帰りたい。
Like some MGs, SAW's main role is buffing her own damage, especially at night, and giving herself more ammo. Her tiles buff SGs, giving them plus 12% rate of fire and plus 10% accuracy. She's best placed on tiles 1 or 4, but can be placed on tile 7 if you don't mind losing a tile. At level 10, SAW's skill, Lock and Load N, buffs SAW's damage by plus 45% at night or plus 10% during the day, and gives her plus 4 ammo to her current salvo for 8 seconds. This has an 8-second ICD and 16-second NCD. During night battles, her damage is buffed to 115, with it being buffed to 87 during the day. This is without any equipment. When fully linked, enhanced in level 100, SAW has 157 HP per link for a total of 785, consumes 140 ammo and 90 rations, deals 79 damage, has 36 evasion, 35 accuracy, 139 rate of fire, 4 move speed, 5% crit rate, 50% crit damage, and has a clip size of 8. SAW is able to equip telescopic sights, hollow sights, red dot sights, AP ammo, microchips, ammo boxes, and bipods. The recommended equipment for SAW is a 5-star scope, 5-star AP ammo, and her spec, the Miko, which is available from the black market in the forward base camp for 5,000 forest gifts. When fully enhanced and calibrated, the Miko gives her plus 25% crit rate and plus 6 clip size. With everything, this gives her plus 120 armor pen, plus 73% crit rate, and plus 6 clip size. This brings her stats to 135 armor pen, 78% crit rate, and 14 clip size. Unlike M60, who I can maybe see being used in some niche situations, M249 SAW is just plain terrible. Really, the only redeeming feature about her is that she's tied with Negev for accuracy, and her rate of fire is tied with Negev again and MG4. Outside of that, she's tied for lowest base damage for MGs, has the same god-awful Night Focus skill, which is, useless for MGs due to their already terrible accuracy and no one being stupid enough to bring them in a night battle, and SAW being a drop from a boss. Unless you're a collector, there's zero reason to ever get or even raise M249 SAW. Again, zero priority to raise. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Arknights and Azure Lane videos as well.